Welcome to this episode of Chaile Time. Toby, welcome.
Hello, Tepo. Good day.
Yeah, are you good?
I'm well. Thank you. Yourself?
I'm good. Have you been busy?
Always busy, Tepo. That's a dumb question.
Actually,
the question is just, what did we do this week?
Actually, I'm busy preparing for a case whereby there was an employee who reported to duty under the influence of alcohol.
Oh.
Yeah, but throughout this weekend, I'll be going through the bundle of documents and prepare proper. But I think I do have a standing leg in that one. But let me not talk too much about it. How is you looking and being busy with?
Yeah, look, today we're going to talk about employees. Né? We're going to talk to employees today.
To them.
We're going to talk to employees. Né? And I've actually labeled this employees living in Lalaland. You know Lalaland, it's like you live in this dream world, okay?
It's like me singing a lullaby to my child.
Yeah, so, but this week also, I went to a company in the construction business, and this is a driver. He's a driver of the company, but they're driving trucks, large trucks, smaller trucks, vehicles and so forth. And it's interesting, how this employee in the last month damaged 9 tires. And, the cost to replace the tires, well, we talk about big tires here, it's like 5,000 rand a tire. So he damaged about 40 to 50,000 rand of tires. And when he talked to me about it, it's like, no, I can't recall that. And eventually, like, you can't. Okay, let me go call the mechanics. Oh, I can remember 2 I did.
What about the 7?
There are 2 I intentionally damaged. I said intentionally. I don't mean intentionally. I mean, I know about, I saw the brick wall and I sort of bumped against it and... But the employer is like...
Yeah, because it's expensive.
It's expensive,
I've been there before where someone was dismissed actually for damaging 1 tire. Yeah. So you can imagine 9.
Let's talk a bit today about employees disrespecting employers. I remember when I grew up, you respected the property of other people and your employer and so forth. But I don't know, this day and age, what do we have? Generation Z or what? Zen or G? It's all these, you get these generations, Anyway, apparently it's Generation Z, I believe now. Now, it seems to be the age of entitlement. The youngsters are entitled. Like I heard it's actually my wife, she works in a hospital, and she said, these young people of today, you employ a new person, the very first day they're applying for leave.
In my language, we call it Ma 2000.
Ma 2000.
Yeah,
so talk a bit about it.
It's the era that was born from the year 2000 going forward. So that's an era which is kind of like, you can't tell them they are so entitled.
Yeah, you talk about, if you ask the youngsters today, what are you going to do one day when you're out of school? I'm going to get rich. So I'm like, when I went out of school, I went to sell, I was a petrol boy at Engine Garage. And night shift, I was a cashier, because I was apparently clever enough, so I could work with money, you see. And thereafter, I was a popcorn boy at Sterkinikor, the movies. I was like, when they tell me I'm going to get rich, I'm like, this is question marks. There's like a disconnect between us and them.
Yeah, apparently this is a generation which is the revolution. They're going to change everything. And our way of thinking in the primitive way, they are too modernized. They're living in the age of technology and everything. But even in the place of work now, they'll tell you that this work is not for me.
Let me demonstrate to you the interview of when I was young and I went to a company for a job, and our generation, I really think it's Generation Z. Or what do you call it? 2000.
My 2000.
My 2000. Let me demonstrate that. In my days, I will go to employers and say, Sir, I've applied for a job, and you will ask me, why do I need to give you the job or whatever the case may be. I will say, Sir, I'm faithful, I'm loyal, I will never be late. I don't go to the CCMA. If you don't want me anymore, just tell me and I will leave. I'll work hard. I will try to add value to your business. I'll always try to improve and increase sales. I'll always be friendly.
I'll go an extra mile.
I'll go the extra mile. And you know what? Here's my number. If you ever need, if somebody don't come to work,
phone me.
Phone me. That's how the interviews went. You know how the interviews go these days. If you ask the person, why must I employ you? No, I need a job. I need money. Me.
Straight.
Me.
Straight.
I need this. I've got a friend. He's got his own business. And he phoned me this week and he was almost in tears. And he said, Toby, I've employed this person. And he's so good on his CV and interview, but now he's actually just plain incompetent. When I told the person that, he's like, sorry sir, even if you just make me a junior, but I can't without a job. I need an income. And I'm like, when a man asks a woman to marry, you know what he says? I will look after you, I promise.
I will provide.
I will provide.
I will put shelter.
Yeah, but it's interesting how, when it comes to modern day employment relationships, the employee is like, I want this.
What are you
going to do? You employer, what are you going to do for me? Are you going to give me a laptop? Are you going to give me airtime? Right? When can I go and leave, employer? And how often do I get an increase, employer? I'm telling you, I've got another employer. We spoke last week about Operation Doom. Do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah? Same employer where the doom was birthed. Is that this employee, she pitched up, went to the employer and said, I've done my budgets. I'm not getting through with my money. You need to give me an increase of 3,000 rand.
Me.
In the meantime, this employer found out that this person had been neglecting their clients, and a lot of them are no longer using the services of the business. But 3,000 rand.
But 2,000, that's how it is. They know their rights. Apparently, they are the game changers, apparently.
So for those of you who want some old wisdom, I'm getting grey now, so I've got some wisdom, I believe, okay? When you approach an employer, it's really not about you. It's capital versus labor. The employer wants to get wealthy. They've got shareholders. They want to make money, okay? So if you want a job and want to excel in life, okay, in yourself, make a decision that you're going to add value to that person. And I'm not talking about rights here. I'm not talking about collective bargaining. I'm not talking about the LRA. I'm just talking plain me to you, heart to heart, wisdom, okay? Try to find what will make that person successful and join them, okay? And if I can be a little bit racist, this is from South Africa, no, we like racism. If I can. Let me speak to the white men out there. Because this tip, hey, Chaile, you look at me like this. Are you going to sue me now?
I'm not what, eh?
Let me give white people a way how to circumvent employment equity and BEE. Okay. When I left school, I went to study theology, and my pastor always told us, he gave us a lot of business tips, and he said, if you have a boss or if you're working in the company, identify those 2 or 3 very important people, then you serve them. Why? Because if I make my boss, for instance, if you're my boss, if I make you successful, the higher you go, the higher I go, you're going to take me with.
True story.
You're not going to worry about the color of my skin.
No.
You want to be successful, so you take the people that makes you successful with you. This is a nice trick, man. And you know why? Employers love the following: love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. Every employer loves an employee who's kind, who's joyful, who's faithful, who's loyal, who's committed. That's the language you must speak and act towards your employer. That's what I want to hear. And let me give you another tip now. If it ever comes to retrenchments, now I've sat in many boardrooms. How do I check method of selection? They say it's LIFO, but it's not. It's that person must go. No. I can't afford to lose this person.
Are you spilling the beans now?
I'm spilling the beans. the people that must stay are normally the people who are loyal, faithful, kind, joyful. They're people that's adding value. Those who don't add value is always full of nonsense and late and troublemakers. LIFO. They find a way that you are one of the people who must be elected or earmarked for being retrenched. I worked for Pick n Pay a long time ago. As a young man, yes, at Pick n Pay I learned how to work. And I had a manager there. He was a bit, I worked for family stores. So this branch manager, he worked at corporate stores for a long time as a perishable manager. No, perishable manager, when you deal with frozen foods, like the fridges, milk, yogurts, those kind of items. And I was working as a perishable supervisor. So he took it upon himself to train me because like perishables was now like his thing. His forte for like 30, 40 years, okay? But he was a difficult man. Oh, I'm not supposed to say this, but I hated him. He was difficult, Chaile. He was always shouting and screaming. I also think he was a bit crazy because, they've got this mic where they will promote items. Good day, Pick n Pay family shoppers. On promotion today is Blue Ribbon Bakery fresh hot bread at 50% discount. That's why they've got that little mic. Yeah, that's why they have little mic. But also sometimes, somebody will spill something or break an item, maybe milk on the floor. Then they will ask the cleaners to go clean up. And there's one day, we were all just laughing. But it's an old man now, man. So he was like, doom, doom. Can I please have a cleaner with a mop to the broom, please? Can I please have a cleaner with a mop to the broom? And we're all just like, oh no. He was supposed to say, can I have a cleaner with a mop to the dairy fridge or whatever, or aisle number, whatever the case may be. Can I have a cleaner with a mop to the broom? And we all just crazy. But the point I was trying to make, I reported him to this is our relationship. I think he was really abusive and was always shouting. And as a young man, one day I went to his office and confronted him in a respectful way. And he said to me, you will accept the way I treat you. I put my hands on the table and I said, I will not. And I went to report him to his boss. Of course, there was fireworks in the workplace between me and, I'm not going to say his name. I actually like him a lot, eventually. But one day, I did various positions through my life in Pick n Pay. I was a perishable supervisor, but also a storeman, packing those cokes and stuff, And then on a sometimes you're off on a weekend, the Saturday and Sunday, then you work until like 5 o'clock on the Friday. So I remember this once. He phoned me like 5 to 5, just before I go home, and he says, Mr. Nel, the storeman for this weekend phoned in sick. So you know what normally happens when an employer phone an employee and tell them that? Nothing. There's like a minute of silence. The employee doesn't want to commit and say, I will be here, and hoping the employer or the manager will say, don't worry, I'll make another plan. Yeah. So there's just a silence. But that's not what I did. I said to him, sir, you know my number. If you need me, phone me. I'll be here.
I'll go an extra mile.
I'll go the extra mile. I made a decision to serve this man. Eventually, I left Pick n Pay, and then, of course, I was living in the area. I'll sometimes go buy bread and milk, whatever the case may be. But when you walk in there, I'm so tempted to give his name, but anyway, then he will run down from that little pulpit with the mic and he'll come run towards me and put his hand around my shoulder and says, I trained this man, So we had this love-hate relationship. But even at Sterkinikor and as a young man, we had a manager, the late, I'm actually going to say his name because he's no longer alive, was the late Andrew Cook. The staff typically didn't like me at all. I loved him. He was a very professional manager. He knew how to speak. Unfortunately, so I can't help you with this, because of our policies, whatever. When you speak to customers who are complaining, he always had a suit and stuff. It's very professional. But staff, he doesn't miss anything. If you are late, 2 seconds, please come see me in my office. He will never shout at you. He will never scream at you. Unfortunately, you were late, and unfortunately, no, I have to do this warning. He will give the warning. The staff hated him. But me, I didn't hate him. So what I did is I found out the two things he liked. He liked to make money because he wanted to impress his bosses, and he likes hygiene. He really wanted the confectionery counters at Sticking got to be clean. So now I'm a young man, so where the others are flirting with each other, the boys and the girls, the staff, and whatever the case may be, me, I bought myself a toothbrush. And then, the towels, in between shows, when it's quiet, I will be scrubbing the towels. But I'll do it in such a way so that Mr. Cook can see me. You see. Of course, it's marketing, it's public relations, You don't hide away when he's not there. When you see him walking, you're scrubbing and cleaning and whatever the case may be. And also from a sales perspective, now you'll see at the cinemas you get the tills there where you exchange money with the customer and all the goodies behind you. No, I packed my goodies right next to the till where everybody can steal it. I had towels and whatever the case may be, you see. But I developed a technique never to lose sight of my stock. So I never had anybody stealing anything, but I always had more sales than others.
So you didn't have charos there stealing from you?
Man, this charo was awake. So I was always the cleanest and always had the most money or the most sales. And I remember peer pressure, my colleagues, hey, who are you trying to impress? It was 1 month or 2 months later I was their boss. You see, if you make other people successful, the higher they go, the higher you go.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so...
in my story of Lalaland, actually, also I was working in the cinema industry. Then I had he was the assistant manager to the general manager. So I've never worked with someone so lazy in my life. That guy he never touched a thing. Nothing.
Yeah.
But he can speak.
Speak well.
He can speak well, that guy. He can sell you a fridge without anything inside, but you will think that fridge is packed with all the goodies that you need. So if we start our shift at 9, he won't pitch at 9. He will call and say, are you at site? Do you have enough change? Did you check if there's any stock needed and everything? And then you give him an update. You know what he does? Mm-hmm. He take your information, feed it to the big boss if the big boss is not there. So he's covered. He knows that I've got a tempo there who is capable of doing 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And then he will come at around 11-ish and then check you in and say, it's fine. Quickly run to the bank and look for... but he won't do anything. Even if staff say, we need popcorn boxes, he said, no, wait for Tsepo, he's coming back. He won't even touch the storeroom keys. I'll go to the bank, fetch change, come back, and then he say, yeah, that 1, 2, and 3, they need 1, 2, 3. So now I have to put the change away and then now go to the storeroom and issue stock. Sometimes there's only you and the manager. Some people are off or coming late. It's still quiet. Sometimes school holidays, it's busy. On the first show, from the word go, it's busy. This one weekend, he went to Durban. And then we all had a meeting on the Friday, or was it the Thursday? Who's going away this weekend because it's a long week? No, he said, no, I'll work. The big boss asked him, are you sure you're going to be here for the long weekend? No, I'll work. It's fine. You can take your off. The big boss took a long weekend. But you know what was the sad story? On Monday of that long weekend, the big boss came with the wife and child to come and watch the movie at the cinema. First thing the big boss walked in, there were long queues. It was a chaos. It's a public holiday. It's very busy. It's only myself and this other colleague of mine.
Tsepo wasn't I the big boss?
Not naming people. Yeah, it's a podcast.
Because it sounds familiar. I know this guy.
The big boss went in. The big boss checked with me. Hey, Tsepo, how's things? I'm good. Where is this person? I'm like, no. He called. He said he went to Monte Casino to get us cream soda. Remember, it's a long weekend, so there was a kids movie on the second, so cream soda is moving. But now because I made good relations with other stores in the mall, I managed to go to Panarotti, speak to the manager. They borrowed me cream soda. So I was covered. But I didn't tell him that I'm covered. I told him, I still need that cream soda because I'm playing his game also now. Remember now, he's working on the phone through me. Now the big boss walks in and says, where is this person? And I'm like, this person is not here. Since 8 in the morning, he said he's going to get cream soda from Monte Casino. I don't know if the big boss phoned him and then he lied, not knowing that the big boss is there to watch a movie. But now he's in Devon. The very same day he arrived at 6 p.m. Now the chaos is done. 6 p.m. everyone is preparing for the next day they're going to work. The last busy show was 5 o'clock. The big boss came to watch the 5 o'clock because it was a hectic one. Fast forward, he came through. It's like, how's things? I give him an update. I didn't tell him now that the big boss was there. I don't know what they spoke on the phone, whatever. Now he tried to bribe me and James and say, hey, let me buy you Nando's chicken. I'm full. I just had my lunch.
You should have said yes, man. It's got some dinner or something.
No, I'm full. Actually, I was not okay because I ran that day. James was from an employment agency, so he was not that involved too much. He will help you here and there. That means on that day, I was running the cinema alone. Luckily, there were no technical glitches. There was nothing. It was just chaos on the floor. But yeah, with me having a thick skin, I was taught by the great in this life. So I clapped it like this. Fast forward. Now the big boss knows the guy was not there on a long weekend. I don't know how did the investigation started. Apparently now this guy, whenever we have an event, because we used to host events like Girls Night Out, whereby there'll be free popcorn and free drinks for guests. But whatever that is left, this guy will take and lock it somewhere in the back office so that when his family is there, he will give them free popcorn and Coke. You see now, this was real Lalaland. Then he was caught out of that.
I know who you're talking about. Anyway, how he eventually exited the business, and this is actually very sad. Because, at that time, I'll go to church in the morning. Yes, I go to church on a Sunday morning. And then he will work in the Sunday morning, and I'll come in like 1 o'clock and work until close or evening or whatever. Now, what the staff were telling me is that in the morning when he comes in, he will take a popcorn, ask one of the cashiers for a popcorn and a Coke. Now the controlling item was the box and the cup, not the actual goodies inside, not the popcorn and the Coke itself. So the staff obviously need to keep a track of how many boxes they've sold. So if, as an example quickly, if a box of popcorn costs 10 Rand and you had 2 boxes when you start in the morning, during the day you sold 1. So you're closing with 1 box. Then you need to be able to hand in 10 Rand for that box. Okay, but what he will do is he will go sit and watch a movie, eat the goodies. When he come back, he will actually give the dirty box and cup back to the staff to resell it to new customers. So the stock balances out. It's called recycling in the industry, you see. So then the cash is not short and the system can't pick up that there was popcorn or whatever stolen. So yes, obviously at the end of the week, we do stock take on all the weight items and then you can pick up there are shrinkages. But anyway, so staff actually came forward and yes, I ended up for that. I put him in a hearing and the cashier and I dismissed both. I then later heard that the cashier actually committed suicide because of it. So she killed herself and actually did it. She went through with it. Very interesting is his replacement manager did the same thing. In that case, I then dismissed the manager, but only gave a final warning to the cashier. So it must save another life, I suppose. But yeah, entitlement, Lalaland, Chaile, what is interesting now? Humans, employees are like this. You employ the person today. You'll agree on salary, whatever the case may be. The person will sit behind his or her desk and very happy. But the next day, you start looking that side. That person's desk is nicer than mine. Then the politics starts. Or that person is sitting closer to the office of the boss. Now you're already not there for the reasons why you asked for employment in the first place. That's to do a job. Now nonsense starting, not politics start.
And then they will pose nice tie. You see, with us, we were wearing, even during the cinema days, we were wearing a cinema golf shirt, because you are in that industry whereby you're going to sweat at some point, you're going to run around. Sometimes you have to grab a broom, sweep. But he was on a tie, and he was well spoken. Hey.
Yeah, but listen, I want to end with this story, and this is to help employees quickly.
Yeah.
John and James. This is just a story, it's not real, okay? It's a story. John and James, they both started to work for the railway company, okay? So they both were digging in the soil with a spade, so the railway company can lay their tracks for the trains. And many years later, like 10 years later, there was this smart limousine driving past the railway track. And inside the limousine, at the back seat, was John, who is the president of the company, and his PA sitting next to him in the limousine. He pressed a button and the window went down, and he waved, "Hi, James, how you doing?" And James put the spade down, look at John and say, "Hi, John, well in yourself." And the PA look at John and say, "Listen, sir, I don't understand. How do you know James?" No. 10 years ago, we both started at the same time working for the railway company. And she's like, hold on. How come you the president of the railway company and James is still working in the swell? You know what he said? 10 years ago, when we started working at the railway company, he was working for minimum wage. I came to work for the railway company, and that was the difference.
As long as I can get my paycheck and go home.
As long as I have my rights, my paycheck. The one was working for the railway company, probably missed a lot of overtime payments.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that's all for this week.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like
and to subscribe.
Put your comments there so that we can improve.
Yeah.
Peace.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Next week on It's Chaile Time, I've got some advice to you how to practice talking the truth.
Where?
If you're a man, you can practice on your wife. The women don't have a problem with this normally. They will tell the truth to the husband. Because you see, Tsepo, you find, this what happened a lot this week. Actually, there's two employers where they did not follow progressive discipline. They did not manage the employee. But now certain things comes to light, and now it's like, now, doom, dismiss. I get contacted. How can we fire the person right now?